For anybody that hasn't seen our Amazon tea times before, we like to find different brands in the wild that are already selling on Amazon that we think have the potential to be doing better on Amazon. And then we just kind of hop on and we talk through it so that people can see what our ideation process looks like and what are the kinds of things that we think about behind the scenes when we're working with brands. And these are the kinds of things that brands should be thinking about so they can apply these to their listings and see better conversion on Amazon. So before we jump into it today, this has been a long time coming and I want to get your honest reaction to this. So we've done split testing with PickFu for many, many years. We've had all of this amazing data sitting in our account. And for years, I've been asking the team at PickFu, is there any way to download and extract all of this data so that we can do an analysis across different categories to understand, are there any patterns? What are the insights that we can learn and apply to all the brands? And we've kind of like manually figured this out ourselves a little bit, but not in a way that's like really comprehensive. And so we were able to use the new connector with PickFu and Claude to extract all of the supplements data and get a massive report that we're calling the supplements playbook. It's 192 split tests between PickFu and between Amazon experiments. And this first section is walking through our process at Mindful Goods, the exact data insights that we saw across main images. This is a matrix that shows you what's working and what's not. This is the product image stack learnings. This is the A+ content. And then down here, we have all of the actual data as it performed on Amazon experiments. So it shows you how split testing in PickFu is one piece, and then moving that into your testing on Amazon is how you get those performance results that we see here. So now you as a creative director can refer back to this report with clients. You can reference this when we're working with the designers, but this is a great resource for you and for our brands. And we made it publicly available. So if you're watching this, you can check the link for this in the description below, and we're making it free for everyone to download.
Wow, that is so good. It's like a cheat code for all the supplement brands.
Insane, right?
Yeah.
So what do we have today?
Okay, this brand is a vegan protein shake brand. This a organic vanilla milk latte, and the brand is called Milk and Hummus, milk with a Y. The reason why I was attracted to this product is because I've recently been starting to hit the gym and I'm trying to keep my protein intake at a certain level. And because I'm on the go and I don't always have time to eat the chicken, the eggs, I just want something easy, like an easy protein intake.
Yeah, the struggle is real. And in my water bottle right now, I have protein water. So I am with you on trying to squeeze in the protein. And I saw yesterday, Tapatio is doing like a protein chip puff flavored tapatio or something like that. Someone announced yesterday on LinkedIn, but everyone is going after protein. Protein is trending. So if you are leaning heavy on using that in your SEO targeting, you want to make sure that your images are matching that as well. And that's actually a little low-key trick that we've seen work really well, using certain specific keywords as the main keywords that you're going to go after for your product listing. Bring those main keywords into the creative so that you're signaling to Amazon, signaling to Rufus that this is where you need to be positioned in the algorithm.
Agreed.
Our intention on these videos is not to get Milk Latte as a client. Our intention is to share our process. We're also not trying to rip apart the brand. I think they're actually off to a really great start in terms of their packaging. We're just trying to show them tips that they can use today to make their listings better. And by showing them how to make their listings better, we hope you learn these things and you can make your listings better too. So that's the whole purpose.
But you know what? I was going through their images and their title, the bullet points. I'm like, what is the protein amount? Annoying. I mean, it is there, but it's only on one of the pictures. And it was so hard for me to find this. 7 grams of protein. And I was like, yep, this is a product.
Usually when looking at a listing, the first thing our go-to is how do we get more people to find this product? And we do that through SEO, specifically with your title, your bullets, things that are going on in the back end, your alt text on your listing. What we like to do is just like a quick gut check to understand, like, do they have keywords built into their title? Is their title structured well? In this case, it does look like they've got some keyword, infused in there. How about the bullet? bullets.
I always recommend having all caps for the lead in sentences because I'm scanning the bullets. I will never, almost never read the full bullets. All
Same.
right. So it's so important to make it all caps because then it's so easy to scan. And then the rest of the bullet points can just be beneficial for the SEO.
Same. Yep.
Speaking of the title, as you said, it is nice. It has everything, but it's cluttered. And I think it can be a little bit more structured. They can start with their brand and then what there actually is, followed by a little bit of the benefits and then some features. So I think that structure is much more easy to scan and go through. So yeah, that's something I'd recommend for their title.
Yeah, they might be split testing this as well. So it looks like they're trying different things, which is a good start. I'm not mad at too many SEO keywords in a title, even though it feels like you're overstuffing. But when it comes to tying that to your ads, I understand why that can play into the decision making. So I'm not mad at it. I think it's worth testing to see if it's going to work in a favorable direction for the brand. The bullets, like you said, I think that's the place where most people are not going to read it. I think you can get away with a lot more copy than they're using. And in that copy, you can infuse way more keywords, long tail keywords. And like you said, the main important thing in terms of structure there is making sure that the first bits are readable, scannable, digestible. Like those first few words have to really do the heavy lifting because people are not going to read the rest. So here they look a little light. They're probably not carrying the weight that they should be carrying in terms of helping to move the needle with SEO. So I would play around with that and I would split test it. And lately what we've been doing is we've been running our Amazon experiments with title and bullets together because Amazon experiments tend to take anywhere from like 4 to 10 weeks. So we like to kind of just push things along and move those into one test. So that's what I would do in this case.
And what we typically do for all of our projects is run a data dive AI report. This is where the software takes all of the top competitors from the category and it shows us the keyword performance. If you take a look at this, the current ranking juice score for milk and hummus is 2 million. However, if they properly optimize it, add in the high intent keywords, they can reach up to 5 million, which is twice as much as they are already doing now. And this is theoretical max. It's how much you could reach if you absolutely keyword stuffed your listing, which we don't aim for this because since 2025, Amazon does not allow keyword stuffing.
Yeah, this gives us like a cheat sheet really quickly to show us just at a glance, like what is the opportunity for the brand, right? Like right now they're here, but could they do more? If they were optimized, how much more organic ranking juice could they squeeze out of their listing by infusing more keywords and not just the copy, but the creative? So this gives us like a quick suggestion. Our process at Mindful Goods is we actually go through a full data dive and we would actually pull the dive against all of the top competitors and really think through this strategically. So it's multiple steps beyond this. This data dive agent gives us a quick snapshot to tell us what is the opportunity really quickly so we can understand how far we can take this. We are super fans of data dive software, which pairs with this amazingly well, and highly recommend using both. And we'll link to both of those down below.
Something that I wanted to point out for milk and hummus is if you go to the keywords tab, it basically just shows you all the keywords that you can be using for this product. But look at the high intent keywords milk and hummus is used. If we take a look at non-dairy protein shake, which is literally what it is, it's 10,000 search volume.
Yeah.
And I think it's on the third page.
Yeah.
So just finding all of these high intent keywords is so important because we can be using these for the title.
This is where we need to come up with multiple titles and be doing title testing, which is a great practice to be doing. It's something that we've seen super effective. It's the lowest lift for split testing on Amazon. We've seen brands achieve 990% increase in orders on their listings by improving just the title alone. So highly recommend playing around with title testing. And this is a great way to do it. The way that we look at it is how much reach can you get with your title, right? For very relevant high intent keywords. So vegan protein shake, for example, if we're going to run ads and we're going to target vegan protein shake, we want to make sure that our title is reflective of that. And so this is a great way to do it. Figure out which keywords are the most relevant and pair them with your advertising in your title. But moving into the next thing that we typically look at, the main image. The main image is the second lever. This is the item that's actually going to get people to click on your product instead of all the competitors that show up in the search results. So this is the place where we have to have the most fun, and where we get the most pushback from brands, because they always say like, oh, I'm going to get kicked off of Amazon if I get too crazy with my main image. We have optimized for hundreds and hundreds of brands. We work with over 750 brands across probably tens of thousands of products. Not once, never have I ever had a client tell me that they've been kicked off of Amazon for playing with their main image. You would have to seriously do something aggressive and wrong to get kicked off Amazon for a main image. What they will do is they will suppress your image, and they will give you a little slap on the wrist and tell you to change the image. So we always try to prepare a safe backup image. This, for me, is a safe backup image that you can always revert to, because you can notice there's no extra things going on around the packaging. There's nothing interesting going on this, which is a double-edged sword. One, it's a safe image, but two, it's not doing you any favors to get people to click on your product. So you're really relying on your packaging to do the heavy lifting, which in their case, they do have great packaging. But like you said, when you were searching for this product, you were looking for the protein count right off the bat. And maybe if you had that, you would have clicked into the listing right away. So we got to be thinking through, like, what are the things that people are searching for in the search box that we need to put in front of them? It's usually 1, 2, or 3 things. And we can call those out really big, high intent keywords to make sure that they go, check, check, check. That's the product I'm looking for. And they click into the listing. That's how you steal market share. What would you do with this product?
So if you look at it, there's like 2 to 3 things that we absolutely have to mention here and make it big and bold. Is first of all, it's vegan, it has coffee, and then it has protein. So show that here too. So you want to show the coffee here, show the chickpeas here, and then also make this bigger. I would have never been able to read this, like search results.
Yeah.
And like, I also want to see the texture of this. Can we just have like a cup here and then like just a can just pouring into an ice cup to make it look irresistible?
Yeah, that was actually one of the learnings that we found from our supplements playbook that we just published. One of the insights was, if it's a functional item, if it does something for you, show the end result of what it is. So if it's a powder, show it in the drink. If it's a drink, show it in the glass. So this is such an easy thing that you can do so that people can see, what is the color? What is the consistency? What is this going to look like? They can get a feel for it, because it's not like they can taste it, you know? And so if they can't taste it, this is the part where we need to make them drool, and we need to get them to click into it. So they need to be like, okay, what is the flavor? Vanilla, maybe some little vanilla beans. It's coffee, put some coffee beans. There's some fun we can have with this. I love the splash that's going on in their packaging. I instantly was like, oh, what if we could do something with like a splash, like what we did with this image that we did for the fittest, right? It is a powder, but when you make it, or when you have it in a glass, it shows up like this. And for this brand specifically, like, look at the splash that's coming out of here. Typically, a splash doesn't perform well according to our matrix. But in this case, with this split test, it did. And so if you're showing a functional drink or you're showing a transformation, have fun with your main image. Play with it. Give it a try. And that's the whole idea of main images, right? We want to come up with lots of different options, and we want to test those options. One more thing to point out is the call outs of the 100% vegan, and the certified coffee is on there, and it says low in sugar. It says these things on there. But to your point, it's so small when we look at it on a glance on mobile, and there's so much text when you just look at it at a glance that they're not going to read anything when there's so much text. So the little trick that we have is, I would probably just like remove all of that or clean it up. And then I would put badges on top so that it's much more legible from the actual search page results. And then when you come into the listing, you can have the packaging as it normally is. But I wouldn't be afraid to play around and do what we call post editing to the packaging, to just clean it up so that it's not so distracting, so that the shopper is focused on the elements that you know they're looking for, so that they can mentally check those off in their mind. And one of the things that we have at Mindful Goods is we've actually trained our own AI tool on our best performing images, where we can pop this image in and come up with some quick examples. And you actually went ahead and did that for this brand, right?
Yeah. So if you look at all of these images, all of the eye candy going on. It just makes it look very irresistible. Like with the first one, you can see what the drink looks like inside.
Yes.
With the most important colors, actually add the protein, like how much protein there is inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, one way I can make this better is have like a can coming into the frame, kind of just pouring it in like a cup of ice, which looks even more irresistible.
Yes. Love that idea.
So
Let's look
look
at
at this one. It literally shows the chickpeas over here. I would emphasize a little bit more on this because two chickpeas are not enough. I'd add
but
some coffee.
yeah, but it's a fun idea. It's like getting the wheels moving. I think you're right. Calling
Yeah.
out the chickpea protein is important, but to your point, we wanted the exact count, like the 7 grams or whatever, so
Hmm.
that people can see that really quickly. I love calling out the low sugar too,
Right.
because we know a lot of people are looking for low sugar, keto
Mm.
friendly options. So I think that that's helpful as well.
Yeah. And the little things that I changed, like instead of having the splash going on over here where it just blends in with the packaging, I'd have it like somewhere at the back, maybe.
Yeah.
That's something I would do. And then I love the vanilla here. I'd add some coffee beans.
Yes.
And yeah, I like make these bigger, something like that.
There is a lot you can do with it. The packaging, when it's stacked behind the can, makes it overall like makes it feel really cluttered, especially when we have our call outs. So the call outs, we want people to pay attention to the call outs. And so we've even done this where we've made the call outs feel like they're part of the packaging rather than using the call outs that are designed on the actual packaging. So I think that could help too. There's just different ways that you can take this even further and clean this up for sure. But I love the
Hmm.
ideation of the chickpeas, the splash, the vanilla, the 3 call outs.
Yeah.
Like we're already heading in the right direction. Our AI tool is just a jumping point. It's just to give us different ideas that we can explore and to get us moving quicker. There's no bad ideas. Like we need 50 good ideas. And then we're going to narrow it down to our top 5 or 10 ideas. And then we're going to narrow it down even further by testing it in PickFu and come up with something really strong to then go live on Amazon or do an Amazon experiment. So this is all a process, but in this step of the process, this is where you're getting more people, more sessions, more clicks into your product listing. So it's about having fun with this exploration or this design process.
Agreed.
Let's look at another one.
On over here.
You can see where we're going with this. We want lots of different ideas.
Mhm.
This is just 3 of them that we came up with real quick on the fly with our AI tool. And then what we would do in this scenario is we would say, okay, this is a great starting point, but we want to do all of these other ideas. And we would write them down and our design team would start working on them. We would then put them into split testing. And then there you go. That's the process.
Yeah.
That's how you get more people to click on your product.
Yeah.
Love it.
And something else that I'd love if we're creating variants is actually showing the 4 cans instead of just showing a box. You know,
Yes.
because sometimes when people are scrolling, they might not like specifically look at it and be like, yeah, it's a 4 pack. If we can
Yes.
show them, I think that
Yes.
will be better.
And if anybody's wondering which AI tool we use to create these main image mockups on the fly like this, we use a tool called Pixie. We will link to it down in the description below. But basically, we've customized our own Pixie to run off of our top best performing images that we've generated for clients over the years. And so it gives us a really strong jumping point. But Pixie out of the box is equally as powerful. I would recommend giving it a try, and you can get the link to that down below. So go ahead and check that out. Okay, so we went through the SEO. That's how we're getting found by customers. We went through the main image so that people would click on ours instead of our competitors. And then what we typically look at is like, okay, they're in. We got them in the building. How do we get them to add it to their cart? And that is the rest of the imagery, because 90% of what we digest as humans is going to be visual. So we want to make sure that our product image stack and our A+ content is ready to seal the deal. And we do that by making sure that every image is showing and telling, that everything is super clear, super digestible, well structured, great hierarchy. Let's scan through everything and see what we think. What are you thinking?
They have all of these awesome images, but they don't say anything. When I saw this, I honestly didn't even know those were chickpeas. Like, I thought it was like some
Okay.
sort of nuts or something.
They're
And
already
then,
breaking the rules, right? They're showing, but they're not telling.
exactly. And then looking at these 2 pictures, I'm like, what is the child doing there?
I think maybe the idea
And
is that this was founded by parents and these are their kids, and maybe this was supposed to be in their founder story. I don't know.
no,
There's a
it's
disconnect
not. It's
there.
not. I think what they're trying to do is like, hey, it's on the go. You're a parent, so like, you don't have to spend so much time or something like that. Then
Yeah.
you gotta actually tell me that. And this way, I don't know if it's for me. I'm like a gym girl. I want to know if this is going to help me. I want to resonate with this.
It's
There.
not speaking to you. And if you were the target avatar, which you're raising your hand and saying, I would have wanted this product, but now the images are turning you off because you're not identifying with it. That speaks to the psychology of your imagery and who you're choosing as your avatars. We need to figure out who is your customer. If you're selling this product, what we would do is we figure out who the avatars are, and then we're making sure we're choosing imagery that matches that avatar so that you see it and you're like, yes, I am that girl.
Exactly. Like you gotta
I
show
love
like
it.
a variety of different people, different places where this product can be used. Like if I go to their website, they have this one really cool image. Like this guy resonated with this because it looked like a remote worker who
Okay.
is having their coffee. The only pictures that I actually see is parents. You
Yeah,
know.
and I'll jump in and say the second image for me was a turnoff because it felt like overly stock image. That to me looks like a AI image, or it looks too stock for me. It's this perfect girl in this perfect kitchen, and she just looks so cute drinking her drink. Whereas, like, I want to resonate with it too. I want it to feel like it's not perfect. It's a real thing, and this doesn't feel real, so it's losing me.
Right.
The first few images, they do show and tell. And then it's like the
Mm-hmm.
last few images lost the plot. So we're heading in the right direction. And then it's like, what happened here? Like they like ran out of steam on making their
They
images
ran,
and they
they ran out of ideas.
What else do you see when you look at this? So the first one is what it's made with, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 call outs underneath. That's a lot. We want to tighten that up and tell me in the header what the benefit is to me.
Right.
I want the benefit to tell me the end result, not the feature. Right now, we're getting into features because you're telling me what's in it specifically rather than telling me what this is going to give me. For instance, if I was going to turn this into a benefit driven headline, I would say something like made to deliver sustained energy. And then tell me how it's going to do that. 1, 2, 3, right? Not 5.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. So some of these things can be pulled out and put into a different image. So that would help you on your later images that didn't have anything. The next image is raise your pulse. And then we have low in sugar, boost energy, vegan. Okay, vegan AF. All right. So we're targeting parents on the one hand, but we're saying AF as well. So the messaging might be off or the language might be off. But that's the thing. If you want to be like fun and edgy, then be fun and edgy everywhere. Like make that part of your brand identity. That's fine too. But just having it in one spot, I was like, okay, where are we going
I
with
know.
this? I do like the hand shot, holding the can, cute
Me
nails.
too.
I think a lot of people would resonate with that. And it's an easy filler shot. It looks good. The hierarchy is working here. Could it be higher impact with some other messaging? Probably. I like that this is like their edgy copy. Let's go to the next image. Okay, here we're missing hierarchy. There's no header. So tell me what this image is about should be in the header, and then break it down for me in smaller copy. And so here we're missing the hierarchy whatsoever. And why this is important for the shopper is because they need to digest this easily. So if you're telling me 4 things and they're all the same size, it's just like in my face and I don't know where to put my eyes, you know? So it's just too much up front. So we need one big header, then delicious vanilla flavor, smooth texture, sustainably sourced, functional ingredients. So I think the challenge here is that we're trying to say everything on every image. It all feels same. And when we're same, we're not saying anything. Like we're saying everything and we're saying nothing. So we need to figure out what are the power images that need to happen for this specific type of product. And let's make sure every single image has a function. It has a job to do to sell that thing that's going to give the check mark in the shopper's mind as they're deciding whether to buy this product. And to your point, the biggest thing that they can change is those lifestyle visuals to make sure that they're showing scenarios that are going to help more than just mom and dads identify with the product. If they're going to use use case scenarios, which they should, they can use all different ages because this is not a product that is limited to mom and dads. Like one avatar is the mom and dad on the go. The other avatar is the gym girly like you. And there's probably a third avatar. So narrow in on your avatars and make sure your imagery speaks to them subconsciously.
Agreed. Like, look at it this way too. Sustainably sourced has nothing to do with vanilla flavor.
Yeah.
Like every single image needs to talk about one thing. Header,
Yes.
I liked what you said there. Header needs to tell me what this is, and then some points to break it down. Break
Yeah,
that.
a good example actually comes to mind. So Birdman was a client that we worked with that if you want to think about the customer, the avatar that they are targeting the performance-driven gym goer, the people that really care about results. That is their avatar. So that is who they're using in their imagery throughout the entire listing. That's also the brand aesthetic. The copy speaks to them. If you go down to the A+, you see the same thing. Like it's really targeting the gym rat, the people who care about performance results. So this is kind of what you want to think about when you're thinking about your identity, your brand, who your avatar is, who you're targeting. It's very clear. And actually, as we're looking at this, you could just as easily for a similar product target a more broad audience. So if we look at something like Plant Fusion, another one of our clients, they are not just targeting the very advanced gym goer that are looking for results. Theirs is like a clean, simple, modern day, approachable product for the everyday person. And if you look at their imagery, it's toned down, it's clean, it's white, it's targeting more of like the everyday person that's into wellness and nutrition and good recipes and the people that are into Pinterest and all of those things, right? This is for the everyday person. This is for the gym goer. So we need to hone in on who exactly we are speaking to when we are developing creative.
Right. And when understanding who the exact target audience is, what we also typically do is run a Vogue AI report.
A Vogue AI report is one of our most trusted favorite things to look at when we are looking at the competitive analysis of a brand, but also trying to understand what are the things that are going to move the needle for this brand? What are the customers already saying in the reviews? Not just our clients' products, but their competitors. And what this gives us is a really quick picture of the most high-level topics and visuals that we can hone in on to figure out what imagery we need to create. So if you look at this one that you're showing right now, the buyer's motivation, 33% are focused on taste and flavor. So what that tells me is that our messaging needs to be honed in on taste and flavor. Our visuals need to show taste and flavor. That needs to be at the forefront of anything we're doing. And then another 12% on protein quality and sourcing. So that could be a whole nother image, right? The convenience on the go, still 8%. So that still needs to be worked in there somewhere as a usage case, but maybe it's not the primary thing we're focusing on. Value and price is a big one. So finding a way to show that in an image somewhere is going to be crucial because people are trying to understand how they're making their purchase decision. So Vogue AI is another great tool. We'll link to it in the show notes down below. Highly recommend running these. We run them for every single project we work on, and they give you just loads and loads of data. I remember one report we ran that always sticks out in my head when I'm thinking about Vogue, and it was in the baby category. I'm not going to say the brand name, but what I loved about that report is, yes, it pulled all of this data together, but what it showed me is how all of the other listings were focused on all of these other things, but the main things that you would think about as a parent were not being covered in the other listings. One thing specifically was how long the baby was sleeping with this product. That was the end result. Parents wanted to buy this product because it would help their baby sleep longer. And if you think about a newborn baby and how the parents are not sleeping and how they're tired and they're like, I just want a solution. And this product from one of our clients was one of the only ones that was proven to do that. And parents were saying over and over in the comments how long their baby was sleeping. People were saying this actually works. And so I'm like, great, we can actually quantify and say 40% of our customers in the reviews are saying that their baby is sleeping longer. These are the kinds of things that you can extract from this, and you can build them into really high quality creatives that are going to move the needle. By analyzing what your customers are saying and what they're saying about competitors, you can find those gaps, find those things that you can use to make your product stand out above the competition.
And that also helps in the hierarchy of your product information. You know what to show first, to show after that, and then what to prioritize.
So if you were trying to figure out which images in what order you should upload to your Amazon listing, this could be a great way to help you figure out what order. We also do like a PickFu image stack poll, and that would help us figure out the order as well. But you could use these to help give you an educated guess on what order matters most to your customers, right? And that would help you with your conversion.
Agreed. And something that comes to my mind when you talk about value and price. So customers, they don't just want to know how this product is going to benefit them. They also want to know, is this the best one out there, right? I don't want to look at the other products. Just tell me, are you act better than the rest? And so that's where us versus them comes in. Let me show you some examples. This is an us versus them, like a very subtle one. They could definitely do better, but this is just an example. So no sugar alcohols. And then it's a tick on the actual product, and then their competitors, they show across. No artificial flavors, no seed oils, no gritty texture. So depending on your customer, you can understand what's most important to them and what you have. Sometimes listing it isn't enough. Sometimes you want to show, hey, like other competitors, other products don't have that. So it makes it easier for them to choose you over the other competitors' product.
Let me show another one from our Notion doc where we have like hundreds of examples of creatives. Some of them we've done, some of them we just love, and we've pulled them into a doc. And this is also going to be linked up in the show notes if you want to download this. It's totally free. But basically, like, this is showing how amazing this fat snacks is. So for an us versus them image, this is great because we have two call outs here at the top. Here for fat snacks is showing that it's keto friendly, all natural ingredients. So as a customer, I'm like, check, check, check. It's just so simple, right? We're showing this is what we have and these are what these other brands have. These have stars, these don't. So just creating like a simple visual where we can just be like, check, check, check in our minds. And it doesn't have to be overly designed. We want to check it off and say ours has this, the other ones don't. This is another one of my favorites. So the skinny dip difference, we have, it's calling out the sugar, the protein, real ingredients. Everyone else has way too much sugar, not as much protein, and fake ingredients. So these are just really simple ways that we can show how a product is better than the competition. Ooh, here's another fun one. So if you need ideas, again, for us versus them images or any type of image, like this is just one of the most functional type of images on Amazon. We have them all curated in our Notion doc, which again, you can download in the show links.
I also went on their website and I saw this amazing video that I think they should be using on their product detail page. Because the video they currently have in their product detail page does not really tell a story. He's like this guy in water. All he says is, I was just over there and now I'm going there. And then if I go back to their website, I find this video so good. Like they show everything over here.
We can't hear it right now, but is there music and a voiceover?
No.
So what I
wish
would
there
do
was. I
then,
mean, if, yeah.
Yeah, to make it better, I would add like maybe a little bit of background music and text on the screen so that even if we're not listening to it, we can see like real ingredients, whatever the text is coming on the screen is such an easy edit. And then more people are going to understand a couple more things about your product. So let's get into the A+ content super quickly because that's one of our favorite things that we like to look at. This for us is like the bread and butter. We've seen brands increase their sales by over 1,000% just by focusing on moving from what this is, which is basic A+ content, to premium A+ content. Premium A+ content will actually go the full width of the screen so you don't see the white on the sides like you do on this one. Premium A+ content can have video embedded. It can have scrollable content that you can swipe through left to right called carousels. It can also have a seamless scroll, so it really feels like a full landing page takeover. And my favorite thing about it is that you can have a mobile-friendly version, separate set of files that are optimized for mobile so that people on mobile, which is over 70% of shoppers on Amazon, are seeing the mobile optimized content. So this can be one of the very last things that'll help people convert. And so we highly recommend taking advantage of this. It's available for free to every brand that is on Seller Central and brand registered through the brand registry program. So we highly recommend doing it. It takes 5 minutes to unlock. And we have brands on Vendor Central that are paying over $500,000 a year to unlock premium A+ content for one SKU. So I'm always like screaming from the rooftop about this. Please, please, please go and take advantage of this now. It's been available for over a year, maybe 2 years now. And still, I would say more than 50% of brands that come to us have not unlocked this on their listings. And it can be so powerful. So what is it that you see when you look at this A+ content?
When I'm usually scrolling down, the only reason why I scroll is because I want to know more about it. And if not more, I want to know it in a better way, in a different way. So then it gives me a confirmation that, yep, that's it. I'm going to buy this one, you know? So first of all, I am not going to read this full thing. I'm sorry, but I'm just not going to read all of that.
Most people won't. So we need to tighten that up. We usually recommend 2 to 3 lines max. If you really need to say all of that, put it on another image or find a better way to structure it. Reduce as many words as possible. make it really easy for people to digest. Anytime you're putting a paragraph of copy on an image, you can generally assume that most people are going to keep scrolling. And the entire purpose of A post content in general is to get people to stop the scroll and tell them one or two more things so that they finish the purchase. Let's get them to finish. Bring it home. By now, they should already know about your ingredients. We shouldn't have to plaster them up like that. I am all about transparency and showing the ingredients, especially when they're clean and great ingredients like this. So there's a great way to do this. This is not the way to do this. I always like it when there's the nutritional facts and then you're calling out the most important thing. This type of image screams transparency. So I am a big fan of this because even if I don't digest everything in this image, what I'm subconsciously taking in is that they just called out the most important ingredients to let me know that it's clean and that it's real vanilla and that this is the 3 ingredients that are in this. Now, if they had more ingredients, which they do, I would have expected them to list them down below in this image so that it's super transparent. We're obviously looking at a different brand right now. If they only have 4 ingredients, that's amazing that they just listed the 4 ingredients. So it's like very clear that this is our ingredient list, you know? I love, love, love this.
And it just like shows that the brand has nothing to hide. They do have an us versus them here.
Oh, this would have been great in the product images.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. Okay, milk latte.
I would cut it down a little bit too. I think it's just a lot going on.
I know you're a big fan of tell me what it is, but then also tell me what it does for me. Like tell me the end result. So that's what they tried to do on the right. But again, we're getting into saying everything instead of saying the function of the ingredient. Yeah. Okay. So, and this last one is losing me.
Also, I want to know who's behind the brand.
Yeah, we want to know more about you. We want to hear about your story.
Yeah.
Our data shows telling me a little bit about the founders, especially if it's a female-owned brand, will help conversion. So highly recommend doing that. Milk and Hummus, if you see this, we are super fans and we want to see you build in some of these best practices and improve your conversion rate. Do you have any other final notes for them?
No, I think we've said enough.
Yeah. Overall, I think they're off to a really great start. I'm excited to see where they go. It looks like they only have 12 reviews, so they're early on. But if you're watching this video, go and give Milk and Hummus a try. Let them know in the reviews how much you like their product. Yeah. All right. That concludes our tea time for the milk latte. I loved breaking that one down. That's a lot of fun. We could do a beverage roundup in the future where we're highlighting different tips and tricks for beverage brands. That could be fun.
Like overall the market, not just one product. Agreed.
Yeah, we've worked with so many beverage brands. We could totally do that. If you are watching this video and you want to see that, drop us a comment below and tell us if you want that, if that would be interesting, and maybe we'll think about doing that. That could be good. Well, thanks for another great tea time, and I'll see you next week.